What is up, guys? It's Jono, and today we're going to be talking about how you can automate the process of responding to new leads. So when they inquire with your service-based business, how you can call them, how you can text them, and how you can email them so much faster. Now, before we dive into it, I just want to let you guys know that this is part of a mini series where I go through the process of automating up to 95% of your business. So if you're tired of doing the same things over and over and over again, and you want to automate everything so that you can really reduce the amount of time you have to spend on your business, make more money, and be able to scale, then I suggest starting this series from the beginning. The video is going to be here. So let's dive into it. Okay, so the most important thing is that there's a lot of statistics around calling people faster. And if you aren't aware of these statistics, this will be game changing for your business, right? This is how you can make 4 times as much money, right? Effectively by just calling people faster. And it says it right here. A 1-minute response time can lead to 391% more conversions. So think about that for a second. If you just call somebody in 1 minute, you're gonna increase your conversion rate by 400% or 4 times, right? So which scenario would you rather have? Would you rather just call somebody faster? Or would you rather wait and delay and be like, oh, I want to sit there and do nothing and then call, 4 times as many people down the line just to make the same amount of money? Like you're effectively working 4 times harder in one scenario. So it makes no sense. So the solution is just calling faster, right? Let's take a look at more of these statistics. The average lead response time is 47 hours. Like that's shockingly slow. I'm surprised people even want to stay in business. It's like you're just making it hard for customers to buy from you. Just 27% of leads get contacted at all. Like this makes me scratch my head thinking like, are you in the business of going bankrupt? Like this is crazy stuff. The likelihood of reaching shoppers within 5 minutes is 10 times higher than if you were to let 10 minutes elapse. So you can see that the diminishing returns are staggering, right? If you even let 10 minutes go by, it's gonna be substantially harder to get a hold of somebody. Faster responses lead to 50% more sales. 82% of customers expect responses within 10 minutes. I mean, think about when you guys reach out to services online. You're like, oh, I'm so happy to be doing this. I'm really looking for an answer. And then your dog pees on the carpet and you're like, oh my gosh, I got other priorities that are more important. You walk away and you totally forget about it, right? So those are the kind of customers that we're dealing with. And that's why we need to capitalize on that new lead immediately, right? So today we're gonna be talking about how you can reach out to these people in 1 minute or less, or 10 seconds or less, how you can automatically get onto a phone call with these people within 10 seconds. Like by the time they hit the submit button on your new lead form and their finger is like leaving the trigger and they can still feel the haptics on their finger, they're pretty much gonna get a call and they're gonna be like, this is crazy how fast you replied. That's what we're gonna be building out today. We're gonna be talking about how you can call people within 10 seconds and this email and the text message sequences that you should be sending out for the next day, week, month, after they inquired, to get them to do one of 3 call to actions. Number 1 is you want them to either respond to the text or email. That's the lowest priority. Number 2 is that you want them to call you, or number 3 is you want them to book an appointment so that you can talk to them at a convenient time for both of you. So that's what we're gonna build today. Let's dive into it. So before we get into building the actual workflow, what I'd like to do is share with you guys the existing workflow that I use that we send all of our clients through. So of course we're gonna, call them within 60 seconds, but we're gonna also follow up with emails and text messages if they don't pick up that initial call. So here it is. So we start off with sending over a text message right away and then an email, right? So we hit them with both channels. And then we have a regressive approach where we tend to follow up with them at slower rates the more stale they become. So what that means is that, for example, let's say you have a lead and they don't reach out to you. They don't even get in contact. They don't pick up the phone or anything within 60 seconds. Of course, you send the email and the text message, but if they don't reply to that, then you wait a day. And then if they don't reply to that new message, then what I like to do is wait 2 days and then 3 days and 4 days and 5 days. And I'm not going to claim that that's the right way to go about doing it. It's just that we found a lot of success doing that with that approach, because we don't want to annoy people, right? If they didn't reply to the first 10 messages, it's going to be unlikely that they reply to the 11th, although we will give techniques on how you can target different messaging to get people to be re-engaged again. So that's kind of what it looks like. This is what we're going to be building today. So let's dive into it. We're going to be using the platform GoHighLevel to build out these automations. This is CRM automation. Now, of course, you can use something like Salesforce. You can use something like HubSpot. I'm not sure if they have the same ability to be able to automate to this extent. That's why I use GoHighLevel, and that's why I love it so much. But you're welcome to use whatever CRM platform you choose. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new workflow, and we're going to start from scratch. Okay, perfect. We're just going to go ahead and rename this test sample new lead workflow. And we're not going to cover the trigger, how these clients get into this workflow, because we've covered that quite extensively in the last few episodes of this series. So if you haven't watched that and you're wondering, you're scratching your head thinking, you know, how do we get leads into this workflow? I explain it in a 3-part series leading up to this video. So go ahead and watch it, and then you can return back to this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to assign a user to this lead. Okay, so in this case, what you can do is you can go ahead and assign yourself. Now, what I always like to do is click only apply to unassigned contacts here. So what that essentially means is that, let's say you have another sales rep on your team, and that sales rep's, they're already assigned to this person. Maybe they've called the person, texted them. You probably don't want to switch the user and then start texting that same customer from a different phone number, right? It's better just to keep everything synchronous, everything with the same sales rep, so that it's just streamlined and standardized for your customers. But what you can also do is you can do a round robin here, right? So say a lead comes in, nobody's assigned to it yet, and you have multiple sales reps on your team. You can just go ahead and you can select multiple different people. And what it's going to do is it's going to split the traffic evenly, or the customers evenly, between everyone you select. Of course, you can unevenly select it and apply certain ratios so that certain people get more leads than others. That is up to you. What I like to do is just split it equally. Okay, perfect. So we've assigned users or sales reps to each customer. We're going to head over to the settings tab, where we're going to configure some of the settings in here. This is super, super important stuff. We're going to check allow reentry. What this essentially means is that the same customer can re-enter this workflow multiple times. I like to do this with all my workflows, number one, for testing purposes, because it's a pain in the butt when you're testing and you realize that you can't enter the same contact or test contact and do it multiple times. And sometimes it takes like 20 minutes to figure out, especially when you're starting out. But also because maybe people inquire multiple different times, or they inquire for multiple different services as well, right? And I like to always put stop on response. This is like a cornerstone of automation. Essentially what this means is that if somebody replies to your text message, or they reply to an email that you send out to them, you want to make sure that you don't follow up with the same message. So for example, let's say you're texting somebody called Stacy, and you say, hey Stacy, you know, I'm just reaching out, would love to book an appointment with you. And she replies back saying, okay, great, I just booked on your calendar. You probably don't want to send another follow-up text saying, hey Stacy, just wanted to check in one more time to see if you're still interested in chatting with me, you know, because obviously it's not going to reflect well on you guys. So you just want to make sure that the automations are stopped when the customer responds to the messages. Okay, perfect. And then the next thing is we want to change the time zone to contact time zone, especially if you're working in multiple different time zones, right? Like let's say you have clients on EST or PST and you're on opposite time zones. You probably want to adjust for that, right? So you're not messaging people too early or too late in the day. And what I like to do is specify a time window that you can message people. So for example, let's say that somebody inquires at 2 a.m. okay, or 3 a.m. and you probably don't have people working at that time, right? So instead of sending a text message being like, you know, hey, I just saw your inquiry and I've been waiting all freaking night to reply to you, you probably want to wait until like 8 a.m. the next morning or whatnot to send that first message out. That's what I like to do. Otherwise, first of all, people are going to know it's automated, and second of all, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to be texting people at 2 a.m. for a service. I like to schedule these days, I like to include all days of the week in here, right? As long as you can reply on all days of the week, but of course you can go ahead and you can switch other days as well. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna save the settings there, and we're gonna go back to the builder. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do next, I'm just gonna switch between these while I kind of walk through, how to build this. But the first thing we're probably gonna wanna do is set up a call between you and the client. So we can go ahead and select the action call. And what this is gonna do is patch you and the client into a call together, right? And this can happen within like 60 seconds, super fast. Essentially, as soon as the client hits this workflow, it's gonna have some sales rep assigned to them, and then it's gonna schedule a call. It could happen in like 10 seconds. And how this works is the software is actually gonna call you, right? It's gonna call your personal cell phone, right? Through a number that you can buy on Twilio. Twilio is just another software that you can connect to GoHighLevel, and you can buy area or like numbers from, right, in your local area code, and then it'll call you, and then you'll pick up, and then you'll press any key on the keypad, and then it'll connect you into the call with a client. In this case, the client's name is Stacy, so we're gonna be calling Stacy. And then the call whisper is just what it says to you when you pick up the phone. So, hey, and we're gonna go ahead and say, hey, user first name. So this would be your name. You have a new lead from, you have a new inquiry from contact full name, just so you know the full name of the contact. Please press any key on the keypad to connect into a call with Stacy. Okay, perfect. So there we go. In case you guys can't see it, there it is. Hey, user first name, this is your full name. You have a new inquiry from the full name of the contact, which in this case is Stacy. Please press any key on the keypad to connect into a call with Stacy. Okay, awesome. So there we have it. That's the first thing that we can do to set up the call. So we're good to go there. Now, let's say that for whatever reason, Stacy doesn't pick up the call. Well, what I like to do is wait 1 minute, right? And then send out a text message. You don't have to wait a minute. I just personally like waiting a minute because nothing screams automation more than when you send out a text message, like literally the second they inquire, right? So I always like giving some plausible deniability, some humanness to the text messages that I send out, so that at least it seems, or it gives the illusion that this could be a person who's just incredibly fast at replying back, especially if you call from the same number very, very quickly. So let's go ahead and set that up. We're gonna do SMS here. Okay, perfect. And in here, I'm just gonna actually show you guys exactly what I use to message my clients, and in hopes that you guys can find some value in that and potentially use it for yourself. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna paste it in. Hey, contact first name. So hey, Stacy, it's Jono from company name. We just use company name here because we have like 3 different brands, right? So it rotates depending on where the lead inquires from, but you could just do like ABC company here. Okay, awesome. And I just saw that you filled out a form on our website inquiring about then we have this custom variable here, type of event, and then suffix 1. What this essentially means is, like, because we have multiple different services that we provide, it could be DJing, it could be photography, it could be videography. Those are the 3 services that we provide. And then we do it for events, right? So it could be wedding, it could be a corporate party or whatnot. But in this case, you could just be like, I saw you filled out a form on our website looking for plumbing services. I'm not free at the moment, but I'd love to help. It would be great if you could schedule a call on my calendar at your earliest convenience here. Okay, so let's go ahead and change this. Let's say that you are free, and you can just go ahead and change this sentence here. Are you available to take a call right now? It would be great. I'd love to see how I can help. Oh my gosh, can help. And then what we can do here is we can say, if you'd like to book a call for a more convenient time, you can do so on my calendar here. Okay, awesome. And then we're actually going to just paste in the sales rep's calendar. So we'll go to custom values here, and then we'll go to user, and we'll go to calendar link. And this is going to automatically paste in the calendar for that particular user, so they can book it right on their calendar. And then I always like throwing in the classic good old smiley face for good vibes here. And then I also have contact US Twilio compliance. So if you guys live in the States, you're going to have some level of compliance here for automated text messages. So essentially what it means is you're giving people the option to opt out of your text messages. So, you know, it's just regulation. I'm pretty sure it's law down there. In Canada, as of this video, we don't have it, but I still include it in all of the text messages that I send as well here. So what I'd say is, if you're not interested in our services anymore, please click or please reply stop, and I won't message you anymore. And then if they go ahead and they reply stop, you can go ahead and essentially filter them out. You can just go up to start a new workflow, search the message for the word stop, and if it includes the word stop, then you can essentially remove them from this workflow and any other workflows as well. Okay, so that's the first text message that we'll send out, and then we're gonna wait another few minutes just to give that plausibility that it is a human that's in fact messaging the customer. What I like to do is like 3 minutes here, and we'll go ahead and we will copy and paste this email here. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's do that. We're gonna send in an email. And just actually before I create this, one thing that GoHighLevel actually recently just rolled out was this split functionality here, which is super, super useful. Like it's game changing. So what you can do here is you can essentially split your traffic into multiple different streams. And why this is beneficial is because when it comes to creating the perfect message, right? The perfect message with the right open rates, the right click-through rates, the right conversion rates, you probably don't know what to say, right? And the only way you're actually gonna figure out what to say is through trial and error. So with the split option here, what you can do is you can essentially just have multiple different variants. So you can have a control and a variable, and you can test what works the best, and you can keep testing to get the best results. So anytime I set up new workflows, I use the split option so that I can really quickly determine what is going to be the best or the winning variant. So we can go ahead and copy the text message here, and we can paste it on path B. And then of course we can switch this up. I'm not going to switch it up for you guys. You can use your own creativity to do that, but this is a great way to do that. Okay, awesome. So we'll go ahead and we can do actually the same thing here. We'll do another split for the email, and then we'll have a control and a variant, and we will go ahead and create an email module, send email. Okay, perfect. Now, before we dive into dumping in the content, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that it's coming from the right person. Now, the amount of times that I have selected the contact full name and the contact email and sent a customer an email from their email or their name and their email address is a shameful amount, and it's so embarrassing. So please don't do that. Always make sure that when you're sending emails to customers, you go from your user's full name and your user's email, because it's going to confuse the hell out of them. So make sure you're always super careful when you choose that. Alternatively, if you guys want, you can also, I'm just going to enter in random stuff here. You can also just make sure that, oh, we got to zoom out here just a bit. You can make sure in the settings, right, that all of the emails are being sent from the user, right? So we can go ahead and say user full name and then user email. And that works as well. We can go ahead and save, and you don't even have to enter in the email here or the name, especially if you're doing a lot of emails, right? So that can kind of help save some time. Okay, great. So let's pull in the content from here. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy and paste it in, and also the subject line. And with this particular email, we can go ahead and take a look at the statistics here. So we have a 97.88% open or delivery rate, a 77.51% open rate, a 44.97% click rate, and then also a reply rate of 4.233. Now, that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I think we could do a bit better. The reply rate is actually pretty low here, and the reason the reply rate is low here is because we funnel people into multiple different links for them to take a call to action, which is in this case to book an appointment, right? So you can see all of these links that we're putting in these emails for them to take another action, right? So the goal here is not for them to reply. In my case, the goal is to show specific content so we can move them further along their customer journey at our company. Okay, perfect. So thank you for your, if we're going on the plumbing example, we could be like your plumbing inquiry, Stacy, and then you could be like, ABC company. Okay, perfect. So you address their first name in here, which is always a huge W. It's always a huge win, because the more customized you make it, the more likely somebody is to open it up, because they see their first name and they get excited. They're like, oh, my first name's in the subject line. I'm going to open this one up because it feels like it's calling to me. Anyways, there's a lot of studies out there. The more you personalize the subject line, the higher the open rate. So I always like putting in the first name or some custom variable around that particular customer so that we increase the open rate. And then afterwards, here's the message. Okay, so hey, Stacy, my name is Jono and I work with ABC Company. ABC Company, thank you very much for reaching out to us. Here's a quick video giving you an overview of who we are and what we do at ABC Company. Watch the video now. You can also find more information about our pricing and our team here. And then the first step would be for us to jump on a call together so I can learn a bit about you and your event, or you could just do your needs here and discuss how we can help. Is there a time that works best for you to take a call and discuss how I can help you? If you'd like, you can schedule an appointment here. Let me know if you have any questions for me in the meantime. And then best user name. This is, the sales rep's name. You can assign specific Twilio numbers to the sales rep. I like to put it here so that we're not having clients call our sales rep's personal phone numbers. We'd rather have everything logged in the CRM, just so it's clean and concise, and it's the division between work and personal life. And then also you can have the email in here. So user first name at abccompany.com, and then the company name, which is ABC Company. I always like to have, well, it's required actually to have unsubscribe, but you kind of, at first I didn't like the idea of having it unsubscribe, but what I realized later on is it just keeps your lead list hygienic. The people that don't want your content or don't want your services will unsubscribe, and you'll stop wasting your time chasing people that never would have closed in the first place. And then email signature here, which you can put for whatever it is. I just use like a picture so they can see a face of who they're dealing with. It helps with essentially conversion rates and response rates and all of that kind of stuff. So I always recommend putting that in there. We can go ahead and we can copy this email and we can paste it over to path B so we can switch it up and see what variant works best. I'll actually show you guys what this looks like when we send over this email. So we have a couple links here, right? And one of the links is you can see your pricing and you can see your info. So on this first email, people are typically looking for a couple things, right? They're looking for price. They're looking for maybe some social proof like video reviews, testimonials, all of that kind of stuff. They're maybe looking to book a call. They want to see your portfolio, right? They want to know that you're a legit company and they can trust you, right? So that's why I like to send over a quote page that gives all of the information that they need right up front so that they can make an informed decision ASAP. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so on the quote page, we send over this. This is actually custom software. We built it on Next.js, which is essentially React or JavaScript. And right away, you can see the portfolio of what we provide here. They can, okay, it's just gonna load again. So you can see the portfolio of what we provide here. You can go over to photography, see what that looks like. Okay, so you can see like a portfolio, you can see pricing of what our options are, what our difference is. You can see what we provide that other companies either do or do not provide. We break that down into multiple categories, nice little video of our company, and then you can see our team, you can see our core team, you can see reviews, the clients we've worked with, and any FAQs that most people ask at this point in the customer lifecycle. So everything they need to know is concise in one page. I send that over immediately, and that really helps. And also, the more professional you make it look, the better it's going to be as well. Okay, perfect, awesome. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create the next step, which will be a wait, and this time it's going to be 1 day. Okay, and we'll connect these back in with a zipper. The go step essentially just means that you have two paths, you're connecting them back together, and we're gonna do another split here. So you can see the common theme here. We're just always doing splits all the way down to make sure that we have the right email, or we find the winning email. Okay, so the next one is email number 2. And here we go. Here's the subject line. I'll go ahead and I'll create that email. Send email. And here's the subject line. Once again, we got to make sure that we use the user full name and the user email in this instance. Okay, perfect. So let's take a look at the subject line. Type of event, right? This could be multiple different services. Now, how you'd have this information is when you initially have people inquiring on your website, right? They'd fill out the form, they give you their first name, last name, email, phone number. You can ask for additional information. So you can ask for, what service are you looking for? As an example, they can input that service, and when that contact gets created in the CRM, you should have that information available, right? And then you can use that information in this workflow right here. Okay, perfect. So that's how you can add more information, make it seem a lot more original and customized and less automated as well. So we could just do, plumbing services, and then ABC company. Okay, and then awesome, we'll just copy and paste this back in. At this point in time, we're just giving them a gentle nudge here, right? Because sometimes people just, they inquire and they have to race off and they have a million things that are going on in their life and they just don't have a chance to reply to you yet. So we're just gently nudging them to, re-engage here. Okay, awesome. Perfect. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take a look here. Okay, so in this email we say, hey contact first name, or hey Stacy, it's Jono from ABC company. Such an original name. I hope you're happy Tuesday, right? So this is one of my favorite automations here. So simple to use. This is gonna say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever the day of the week is, it'll just list here. And I don't know, it's so simple, but it just seems so authentic and so nice, right? And I feel like for most people, they'd look at that, and maybe I'm totally wrong here, but most people would look at that and be like, wow, it says Happy Tuesday. There's no way they could have automated that. There's just no way. This must be a manual email that they sent. And because of that kind of stuff, we do get quite high reply rates as well. We can actually see the reply rates on the second email. So this is the second email in the sequence. Let's open that up, statistics here, and we have 100% delivery, 74.73% open rate, 29.12% click-through rate, and a 6.59% reply rate. Once again, these reply rates are a bit lower because their call to action that we have is clicking links so that they can view our content and then book appointments through the software that we send them. Okay. So, hey Stacy, it's Jono from ABC Company. Happy Tuesday. I wanted to pass along your preferred vendor list in case you were looking for additional help with planning your wedding. I know it's helped a lot of our other clients here. Now, I'm just going to keep this to the wedding example just because we run a DJ photo and video business and it's applicable to this email. What I like to do in my emails is I like to provide valuable content to the people that are our customers, right? And the reason I like to do this is because when emailing people, I want to provide as much value as possible. I want them to feel like when they open up one of my emails, it will actually help a pain point that they're working with, right? And in this instance, with this email here, what we're doing is we're essentially helping people find other vendors. So one of the biggest issues when you're planning a wedding is, well, it's stressful and you need to find multiple different vendors. And with this email, we're saying, hey, you reached out to us, you're probably looking for other vendors too. So here's a list of other vendors that you can find, right? And it's free and it's easy to use. And hopefully by you viewing this content, you're going to be happy to open my future emails. And you're also going to be looking at me more favorably because I'm helping you out with no expectations in return. So then we proceed onwards and I say, I'm not sure if you got my email yesterday, but I just wanted to follow up to see if we could set up a call to discuss how we could help you with your wedding. Is there a time that works best for you? You can book an appointment here. You can view your team and pricing here, and you can watch our video here. So it's the same kind of call to actions, but we're also adding in value to that touch point so that it doesn't just feel like we're broken record saying the same thing over and over again without changing the tone or anything associated with the email. Okay, perfect. So we can go ahead and save that. Once again, we're gonna just split test this email to see, can we find a different winner? Can we find something with higher click-through rates or open rates or reply rates? And then we're gonna wait once again. Now, in this instance, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wait 2 or 3 minutes here. And instead of doing like a couple days, I'm gonna send a text message as well. Once again, we can go ahead and split this to find the winning variant. We'll do a path A and B. And in this instance, we're just gonna send a quick text message to the person. Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and program this in, and I'm gonna read to you guys what this says. Okay, hey Stacy, just checking in to see if you received my email with our wedding packages. You could do, we're gonna circle back to Stacy and the plumbing packages. Okay, so our plumbing packages, after inquiring on Bark yesterday, you can see here that I actually have like different streams, right, of where these leads came from. And you can do that too, right, in the forms that you set up to acquire leads. Just like in the example of having the ability to say, hey, what type of event or what type of service are you looking for? You can also have a separate form for every single channel that you acquire a lead through, whether it's Google Ads, SEO, and when that specific form is filled out, you can attribute that to either Google Ads or SEO or Bark, and you can know where that lead came from, right? And why that's so powerful in this sequence is because it's making it a lot more specific, right? And when you make content more specific and you send text messages, emails that are more specific and tailored to that user, it's gonna feel more natural, more human, right? And that's the whole goal that we're going for here. So the more custom variables you guys can put into this, the better it's gonna be. So that's why I like putting in like Bark, but you could just go ahead and you could delete this and you could put in contact source, right? So, you know, I saw that you inquired on the source, whether it's Bark or Angie's List or Upwork or whatever it is, yesterday. Once again, specific, it's referring to yesterday. It's a nice little touch in my opinion. Here's, and then just wanted to see if you got the link, and if you didn't, here's the link for easy access. And then, you know, this is the page that I use, but you could just do like, you know, HTTPS, oops, it's all caps, HTTPS, abccompany.com/quote page, and there's your URL, whatever it may be, right? So that you can funnel people back into that page so they can take a look at your service offerings, your team, your quotes, and all that kind of stuff. And then I like to finish this off by asking a question to re-engage the person over a text message so it doesn't seem like it's too robotic. Did you have any questions, or was there something specific that you were looking for, right, that I could help out with? Okay, great. So we'll go ahead, we'll save that, and we can copy that into both path A and B. And then this is where we start going to diminishing returns, right? So if somebody hasn't replied to any of these messages, then it's gonna be substantially harder to get a hold of them, right? And for that reason, I like to reduce the cadence that I message people at. So instead of messaging, you know, once a day or an email and text message a day, now I'm gonna go to 2 days, and then 3 days, and then 4 days, and then 5 days. And it's gonna progressively get further and further apart, the more stale that lead becomes. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're gonna wait here for 2 days. Okay, awesome. So we've waited here for 2 days, and we're gonna send out email number 3. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's do what we always do. We're gonna split this into 2. We're gonna test to see what is the winner. And this is gonna be super beneficial to you guys. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to set up. It's extra work, but when you find that winning variable, it's honestly, it's a beautiful thing. It's really beautiful. Sometimes it brings like a tear to my eye because I'm like, yes, I did it. I got the best results conversion rate, and then you can set it, forget it, and never think about it ever freaking again. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna go send out an email here, and let's copy and paste it in. Okay, once again, it's gonna be coming from the user first name and then the user email. Awesome. Subject line is type of event, suffix to, which is just like DJ or photographer or videographer. It could be a combination, DJ and photographer, DJ, videographer, and photographer, right? So plumbing, Oh my gosh, I cannot spell plumbing services for the life of me. Plumbing services for Stacy. Only Stacy in all caps. Okay, you probably don't want to do that. But there you go. Subject line, still including the first name. You can get a bit more creative than this. You can just go to like ChatGPT, for example, and you could be like, rewrite 10 better email subject lines than this one. Okay, and we can just see the results. Awesome. So perfect. I actually like number 3, except I think it's a bit cheesy with the discover our services, so I'm not going to include that in there. But we can just go ahead and say leak proof your home, Stacy. There we go. And we can just test that out and see. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, right? Who knows? But the data will certainly tell you. Once again, number 3, you're just following up one last time. Hey, Stacy, happy Tuesday. I'm sure your schedule is crazy right now. You're just, in this, it's really important, I think, just to resonate with the customer, really understand their perspective, right? You're agreeing with them. Like, I'm sure life is just crazy right now. You've got a million things going on. And I just want to, help, right? So I just wanted to check in to see where you're at with the process of hiring a plumber. Okay, I spelled plumber right that time. Amazing. Did you need more time? If you'd like, you can get a price for our services at your own pace. This I send over to a custom quote generator so they can actually go through software and get a quote, right? And for some people, they just want to go at their own pace, right? And this is a great tool for them to do that and still get engaged and have a micro commitment so that we can understand where they're at in the process and then target them differently depending on the actions that they take. And then everything else you want to know can also be found in our studio here, including my date of birth and mother's maiden name. And then here's a link. I always love throwing in jokes if you can here and there. It just kind of lightens the mood and keeps it fun and sassy. So I like that. That's a good email. We're going to go ahead and we're going to save that. So you guys can see the conversion rate, the click-through rate, the open rate on this one, 100%, 60% open rate, 16.67% click-through rate, 3.62% reply rate. Now, the further out you get, the more stale the leads become and the lower the statistics are going to get. Could we improve this email? For sure. Yeah, we could definitely go back and improve this. I think that this could be much better. But yeah, so that's why you want to split test the results, right? So we'll go ahead and we'll split test this. And then let's go ahead and add in the 4th email here. So because we waited at this step for 2 days, the next email we're going to do is we're going to wait for 3 days. So we'll go ahead and we'll wait. And we'll choose 3 days. It's always important to choose days here, otherwise you're going to be sending the emails like minutes apart, which is never good. And I've definitely done that as well. So it's always it's always important just to be careful here. Okay, we'll go ahead, split the traffic one more time and send another email. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and test this. Let's see the statistics here. So 60% open rate, 20% click-through rate, and then reply rate is this. Yeah, it's a better open or a better click-through rate than the last one. But the reason it's a better click-through rate is not for the same reason you're probably thinking. So before I explain that, I just need to put in the full name, the email, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, we're good here. It's because in this email, the whole purpose of our 4th email here is to have the customer disqualify themselves, right? So I suspect you may need some more time before making a decision on hiring plumbing services. That's totally okay, as many others do at your stage as well. Did you still want to hear from us anymore? We want to make sure that you're receiving content from ABC Company that's interesting and relevant to you. If you just want to take a look at our pricing, feel free to find it here. If you're not interested in what we have to offer anymore, you can simply let me know and click the unsubscribe link here. Now, to me at the beginning, when I was doing automation, this seemed really counterintuitive. Why would you give somebody, especially when you bought that lead for between like $10 to $50, why would you give them the option to unsubscribe from your mailing list, right? Don't you want to capitalize on every lead? And you certainly could, but the issue is that, let's say you just keep emailing and keep texting it, and I could be wrong here, but this is just anecdotally my personal evidence. When you keep messaging those people, you can have them, essentially block your email on Gmail, and that's going to tank your email deliverability rate, which means that you're just going to end up in the spam folder or the junk folder, and nobody's ever going to see your emails, right? And that's going to hurt you even more. So I don't want that personally for the company. So that's why I always give people the option to unsubscribe if they're interested in doing so. And I also don't want to spend my time chasing down leads that aren't interested. I'd rather spend my time finding new leads or building new campaigns, marketing campaigns to acquire more leads so that I can just filter faster to the real customers that are actually going to make a purchase, right? So that's kind of my whole idea here. And that's why I have this email, so that we can just filter out people or have them self-filter out themselves if they're not interested. Alternatively, they can schedule a call. Okay, perfect. Sounds good. And we just need to have the subject line here, and we'll go ahead and add that in. Subject line is, plumbing services, check-in for Stacy. Okay, great. And we'll just copy that again. Path B, perfect. This wait time was 3 days, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do 4 days now. So we'll go ahead and click wait, and we're gonna do 4 days. Okay, perfect. And then let's zip these together. Okay, and then we're gonna do split here one more time. Some of this stuff is super repetitive, guys. At least I find it so. But the beautiful thing is ideally you only have to do this once, right? And then once you do this, you never have to send these emails or send these text messages again, because it's just going to be taken care of for you. Okay, awesome. So the next one is a text message. It's just a super simple text message. Same kind of deal as the email before. We're just going to send this and let people know that if you're not interested in hearing from me anymore, you can just reply stop, and I won't message you anymore. Okay, perfect. Same kind of deal here, guys. You're just asking, are you looking for the services? If you are, can you, maybe you're prompting them for an answer. And if you're not interested anymore, then we can go ahead and you can just click stop, and we're not gonna reach out to you again. Okay, awesome. We're nearing the end. Wait 5 days, and we're gonna do the split again. Okay. Parse the traffic into 2 flows, and let's see, we have 2 more steps left. This is what I like to call the Hail Mary approach. So this is kind of the last email that I like to send, right? It's the, hey, you haven't replied to like the last 15 touch points. We've called you like 6 times. We've emailed you like 4 times. We've text messaged you 3 times and we've never heard from you. You've essentially vanished off the face of the earth, or you're a fake lead, one of the two. Not too sure what it is, but just in case you're a real person that really inquired for my particular service, I'm going to give you one last opportunity, and it is the Hail Mary throw for the touchdown. So what we do in this email is we just say thank you, because it's almost like a clickbait subject line. It's like, thank you, Stacy. It's like, why is this person thanking me? I got to see what I did to deserve a thanking. So they open it up. You can actually see here in the statistics, the open rate's quite good, even though it's email number 5, right? And then what we want to do here is we just want to essentially invoke the rule of reciprocity, right? So what we're doing is we're just stating that, I imagine you're no longer in need of plumbing services, Stacy, or you found another company to work with. Out of respect for your time, this will be the last time we're emailing you. With that being said, I wanted to pass along some useful resource and hopefully help you in your search for the right plumber, right? So you're just giving them tons of different content. And the whole idea behind giving them tons of content is to invoke that rule of reciprocity, where you're essentially giving them content, useful content that will help them in their journey. And in return, what you're hoping for is that they will feel indebted to you and they'll feel the need to trade back to you their attention, right? So you're essentially trading your useful resources for their attention, and that attention can come in the form of replying to the email or text message, booking an appointment, or so on and so forth. So that's kind of what you're doing here, and this does actually work quite a bit of times. So that's nice. I would definitely recommend having an email like this in your arsenal. So we can go ahead, we can copy this over to path B, we can split test it, and then we're just gonna wait here, and we're gonna do 6 days, and we're gonna send the final text message over to the user. This is, once again, same kind of deal, kind of like a Hail Mary approach, where we send a text message just to see if we can get them to come into our sphere of influence one final time. Hey Stacy, I hope you're having a great Tuesday. Just wanted to reach out one last time to see if you're still interested in plumbing services, or if you've already found the perfect plumber. No pressure at all, just here to help if you need it, right? And a lot of the time, what you'll find happens is people, they just, they inquire initially, and then they just get overwhelmed, right? Maybe they reach out to like 10 or 15 different people, right? They'll reach out to like 5 or 6 different service providers, and then they just are like, wow, this is too much. And they just like go into hibernation mode. And then a month later, like, okay, I actually feel comfortable with moving forward with this service. And then they get a text message from you one day and they're like, actually, you know what? I'm at the right point in my life to accept this invitation and move forward with the service. And this does actually happen quite a bit. So that's why you always want to have a workflow where it's kind of dripping out content over a month, because a lot of the time people just need that long, right? But a lot of your competitors will give up after, maybe a day or two. They just won't reach out again, right? Like the stat said in the beginning, 27% of leads, they never even get contacted in the first place. So if 27% of leads never get contacted, how many leads get contacted a month later? Probably like, I don't know, like a fraction of the 27%, right? So that's why it's always important to have in your workflow emails and text messages that happen much after the point of first contact. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Just to recap what we built here. We built a system where you can email, text, and call clients that inquired through your website or through other means pretty much immediately, right? So within the span of like 2 seconds, you're gonna call that person. If they don't pick up, you'll send a text message, and then you'll also reply with an email pretty fast here as well. And then you're gonna wait a day with this wait step, and you're going to send over another email and then another text message. Then you're going to wait 2 days, send an email, wait 3 days, send another email, wait 4 days, send a text message, wait 5 days, send an email, then wait 6 days and send another text message. That is the workflow that I use to scale my business, right? From essentially $0 to $1 million per year, over $1 million. And I'm sure if it worked for me, it can also work for you guys as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you found it enjoyable and I hope you learned something today. In the future videos, what we're gonna do is talk about how, once you get this person on the phone, how you can automate the whole process around that sales call, right? Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, you can't use AI or automation to just take care of the sales calls for you. That's the 5% that you can need to hire somebody to do. But everything around the sales call, like appointments, like proposals, like invoices, like content marketing, all of that kind of stuff can be fully automated. And that's what we're going to teach in the next couple series or episodes. So thanks so much, guys. If you liked it, please hit the subscribe button down below. Please hit the like button down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.